Welcome everyone. Today, we'll be diving into the heart and soul of the computer, the CPU and memory. These two components are essential for understanding how your computer functions. Let's begin with the CPU, or Central Processing Unit. Think of the CPU as the brain of your computer. Just like your brain tells your body what to do, the CPU tells the computer what to do. It does this by following a cycle of three main steps: fetch, decode, and execute. First, the CPU fetches an instruction from the computer's memory. Imagine you're grabbing a recipe from a cookbook. That's what the CPU does with instructions. It pulls the instruction it needs to process next, then it decodes the instruction. This step is like reading the recipe and figuring out what ingredients are needed and what steps to follow. Finally, the CPU executes the instruction. This is like actually cooking the meal. The CPU performs the required action, whether it's a calculation, moving data, or managing some control function. The CPU has a few main components that help it perform these tasks. The Arithmetic Logic Unit, or ALU, is where all the math and logical operations happen. Think of it as the part of the brain that solves problems and makes decisions. Then there's the Control Unit, which acts like a manager or traffic director, making sure everything runs smoothly and that data moves where it needs to go. The CPU also has tiny, fast storage spots called registers that hold data and instructions temporarily while they're being used. This is like having a very small, very fast notepad to jot down important information while you work. Now, let's talk about the different types of CPUs. In the past, computers typically had single-core CPUs, which means they could only handle one task at a time. Imagine trying to do your homework while also cooking dinner. Pretty tough if you only have one pair of hands. Today, most computers have multi-core CPUs, which means they have several processing units in one chip. This allows them to handle multiple tasks at once. For example, a dual-core CPU has 2 cores, a quad-core has 4, a hexacore has 6, and an octa-core has 8. It's like having multiple cooks in the kitchen, each handling different parts of the meal simultaneously. Some CPUs use a technology called hyper-threading or simultaneous multi-threading, which allows each core to handle more than one thread or stream of instructions at a time. This makes the CPU even more efficient at multitasking, like having each cook be able to work onto recipes at the same time. There are also specialized CPUs designed for specific types of devices. Mobile CPUs are built for smartphones and tablets. They're designed to use less power and produce less heat, making them perfect for devices that need to be portable and energy efficient. Server CPUs, on the other hand, are optimized for handling heavy workloads, large amounts of RAM, and many cores, making them ideal for things like data centers where lots of data processing happens all the time. Now, let's move on to memory, specifically RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory. RAM is like your computer's short-term memory. It stores data that your CPU needs to access quickly. Unlike your computer's hard drive or SSD, which keep information even when the power is off, RAM loses all its data when the computer is turned off. This is why it's called volatile memory. There are different kinds of RAM. The most common type is DDR-SDRAM, which stands for Double Data Rate Synchronous Dynamic RAM. There are different versions of DDR, such as DDR3, DDR4, and DDR5. Each new version is faster and more efficient than the last, much like newer models of cars are faster and more fuel efficient. Another type of RAM is SRAM, or static RAM. SRAM is even faster than DDR, but it's also more expensive, so it's typically used for special purposes like cache memory inside the CPU, where speed is absolutely critical. Having more RAM in your computer is a good thing because it allows your computer to run more programs at the same time without slowing down. Think of RAM as a bigger desk where you can spread out your work. More space means you can have more things open at once and work faster. Faster RAM means that your computer can find and use data more quickly, which is important for things like video editing, gaming, or running complex applications. So, in summary, the CPU is the brain of your computer, responsible for processing instructions and managing data, while RAM is the short-term memory that provides quick access to the data the CPU needs right now. Together, these components work to make your computer efficient and capable of handling the tasks you throw at it every day. Understanding these basics will help you appreciate the incredible technology behind your computer and how it manages to perform so many functions so quickly and efficiently.